We are live. Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Croom, Army Vet, and we are here for another edition of Pet Professionals Roundup. Okay, I just made that up right now. But Pet Professionals Roundup, where we talk to other pet professionals and see what it is that makes them tick, see how we are alike and different. And this week, we have been focused on cats because the week started out with Ask Your Cat a Question week. And as a matter of fact, we got a lot of engagement on that. People were left and right telling us what their cat was going to do and wasn't going to do. And the cat was running the household and all of that stuff. I'm sure you know all about that. But tonight, all of you cat lovers, we are here to chat up our special guest. And I've got one of my teammates with me as well. So let me introduce her first before we introduce our special guest, Miss Kayla Birds, our certified veterinary assistant.
Thank
She
you.
has joined the team in the past several months and has been really helping to turn this place around, do all the things that a certified veterinary assistant will do, which is to take a lot of the weight and strain and strife off of the vet. Honestly, let's keep it real here. And she's coming right in and doing just that. Plus, it's one of her really good friends that is the guest tonight. So, as a matter of fact, Kayla, if you could say hi to everybody, would you mind introducing our special guest for tonight?
Yes, absolutely. Janessa and we went to school together, and we've kind of always just stayed in contact, like mom stuff. And then we've both always been some connection with the animal world here. And we just have stayed to get connected together here as entrepreneurs. And I'm happy to have you on here, Janessa. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, you know what? You, as we can see from your title there, you are an LVT, which is a licensed veterinary technician, and a certified pet groomer. Would you mind just introducing yourself, telling us like where you're from, where you grew up, and what makes you an animal person?
Sure. I'm from Jonesville, Michigan, born and raised. I currently live in Hillsdale, which is like the next door over. I grew up with a cattle farm and dogs and cats and whatever else walked in our way. And I've always been there to doctor them up. And I've said my whole life I was going to grow up and be a veterinarian. So I went the licensed vet tech route, did that for a while. And then I had an opportunity to go into dog boarding, daycare, and grooming, and took that and never knew it was going to be the career that I love and where I was supposed to be. So now I've been grooming for almost 4 years and opened my own business 3 years ago.
All right. Can we give some snaps right now for that? Yes. Congratulations on that business ownership. No small deal. That's a big deal. Yep. So kudos to you for doing that. Yeah. Now you said 4 years. So was that like right around COVID? Because I know a lot of people's, forecast or paths kind of shifted during that time. How did that affect you?
Yeah, so I resigned from the vet clinic I worked at on March 31st, and the next Monday we shut down for COVID. And I was supposed to be starting my grooming career then. So while I was on quarantine, I did all my online schooling, and I finished that within 6 months and was certified. And I went back in June of 2020 and walked in, just winged it my first day, and I've been grooming ever since.
Awesome.
Fake it till you make it.
Right.
That's right. I hear that often as far as like people who said, yeah, I thought about being a veterinarian, because that's usually one of the first things we think about, that we're introduced to as a potential career when we're youngsters. It's like veterinarian. And then when you get older, you learn like, hey, maybe I don't have to do all that crap. And I can and I can do, some of these other things. I mean, really, there's a place for everybody. You gotta have,
Kudos to you, Doc, because I love right where I'm at. I love the position I'm in with you. So kudos to you. And kudos to you, Janessa, because
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are great.
You could do it.
Oh, I definitely could, but
Yeah.
nobody said I wanted to.
That part right there. That part right there. So, so what pets do you have now, Janessa? I think you have quite the menagerie over there.
I have 3 dogs, 2 cats, and a rabbit all at home right now. We did have a couple shop cats for a while, but they went home with my grooming assistant, so they live with her now.
Okay.
She got a good life, but I have a 15-year-old Jack Russell. She's my senior girl. Then I got a 4-year-old pit bull and a male pit bull and bulldog mix. He's wild. My cats to be nothing for the complete opposites. I got a 1-year-old and he's crazy and wild, and then my female's 8 and she care less about him altogether.
Oh my
And
God.
then the rabbit, actually, somebody found him as a stray and brought him to my groom shop. And I ended up finding the owner, and she's like, my daughter never takes care of him. And I said, well, I have a 4-year-old little boy that would love him. So we took him home about 2 years ago now. So got the whole little zoo going on.
Very good. So that rabbit, when you said stray, I was like, what?
So a lady that works in like a neighboring unit over here, she was on her way home and seen this rabbit run under a vehicle. So she stopped to look at him, and he didn't run from her. She was able to scoop him right up.
Okay.
So she knew he was a pet, but then she's like, I don't know where I take him. So she brought him over here to the groom shop and put him on Facebook, and we had his owner within a few hours. And he went home with us that night.
Oh my God. So we've got a question in the chat.
Okay.
The question is from Robert Crazy Air Homes. Thanks, Rob. How do you deal with the dog not eating the rabbit? Asking for a friend, he said. How does the dog not eat the rabbit? Asking for a friend.
So he has like an indoor hutch, and we have like a wire fence up. So he's kind of in his own thing. And then during the summer months, he has an outdoor hutch that's mobile. So we can just roll it around the yard, and it's upper and lower, and he can get to the grass. And
okay,
he has a little house to go into at night to stay away from predators. And
okay,
yeah.
Because speaking of predators, I mean, a lot of times our dogs will have a huge prey drive, especially depending on the breed that you have. And really, you can say no, and they see that rabbit move, it might be all over it.
I know that's why Robert asked that question.
When he's outside, my dogs do kind of like terrorize him a little bit, but I just have to correct them and redirect their energy and get it off. Since they are terriers, they like to go after everything that moves.
Exactly. We've got that situation over here too. We were looking at another mammal that we might bring into the family, and rabbit was brought up, and I'm like, we've got 2 extremely prey-driven dogs, and sure, it can be done, but like maybe not right now. So all right, cool. Okay, so let me see. I know I've got some banners over here. Kayla will tell you that I love to use my banners because it lets people know, even if you're not listening, you can see the banners, you know what's going on. So here's my question. How is grooming cats different than dogs? Like, give us the scoop.
Well, like the process and the tools I use are pretty similar. However, with dogs, they are restrained on the table. They have a leash. They're clipped in front and behind their head, so they can only move left and right a little. There's on them if they don't want to stand up for us. But with cats, they're so finicky and frail, and you never know when they're just going to jump. So I can't use a grooming loop on them because I don't want them to get hurt.
Right.
That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
And cats are just more unpredictable than dogs because they will just be silent until they just are mad at you. Where a dog gives you some warning signs.
Oh my gosh.
So for cats, instead of using like the grooming loop, I have cat muzzles. I use happy hoodies, which is just like a big scrunchie to go around their ears to kind of just muffle everything. And I do have like rubber boots if I need to put rubber boots on their feet so they can't slap at me. And then I have other gloves I wear.
Can we see those? I put up the question, what materials and equipment do you need? Let's see some of this stuff, eh?
Sure.
We might need some of this stuff.
Okay.
So these are like the rubber booties. And they just unvelcro. You put the cat's foot in. Then you just velcro around it so they can't do anything to you.
We need those.
behind the hair. But happy hoodies. They just scrunch, go right over their head.
I can only imagine what it looks like. It looks like with a
That's
cat
like the
head in there.
sock, huh, Robert?
I do have cat muzzles, so I have a couple different kinds. I have like the clear muzzle here, so it just goes over their head, cinches behind their head. They still are aware of everything. They just can't bite me anymore. Or I do have like the muzzles that actually blindfold.
Oh,
They can't see anything, but they can breathe out the front. That helps.
Definitely helps for them to continue breathing. Yes.
Yes. Yes. So, and with cats, the first thing I always do is trim their nails to dull them down for me. And then if they're here for just a brushing, I'll do their brushing first. And if they don't seem to be tolerating it well or stressing out, I will not proceed with a bath. And same for the haircuts. I'll do nails first. I'll do their haircut. And as long as everything's well and stress-free, then we'll proceed to a bath and blow drying. But I only do what they allow me to.
Absolutely. You know, we were talking a minute ago about like where our role is and what works for us. I'd probably be anxious as heck if I knew I had to come in and wash cats, you know, bathe cats. Like I just couldn't do it. So kudos to you for being the one to be able to do that. And then I know a lot of groomers too also like don't do cats, or they'll just be like, just do dogs and like leave the cats for someone else. Yeah, so my coworker, she is not a cat. She loves cats, but she will not groom them. And when she first started, she'd come in and help me, but she was not very much to help with restraint because she was just as scared as they were. So as she got more freedom and stuff, I said, I'm leaving it up to you. And she opted to not do cats. So I do cats, and I do it on 1 day a week, just cats only, no dogs in here. Okay. And then I just shut the door, and it's just me and one cat at a time, and we take our time.
That's really smart. That's a really good way to do business, Janessa.
Like, currently, I do Mondays, so I call them Meow Mondays, but it's into Friday, so we're just going to do Feline Fridays from now on.
Very good. Okay, very good. Robert, hitting up the chat. Chat's on fire. Robert, he said, absolutely, almost every cat has a little Satan in it. He is definitely, as being one of my assistants when we go out, doesn't do too much cat work, but every time it seems like there's always one that just, and they just have a little, and you know, it happens. So everybody's for that. And then he said, take my money as far as those boots. We really might be getting those on board, I tell you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is great. I've got one more banner for you. Well, you know, you've done it a little bit already, but I want to really highlight again, as you being an entrepreneur here, we love to big up fellow Michigan female entrepreneurs who are doing their thing. So that is definitely you. Tell us a bit about Scruff to Fluff. Is it more on the business side? Like, was the building already there? Was the business already there and you bought the business? Did you start it from scratch? And then a little bit more about like where you're located and stuff like that.
So no, I was content where I was at. I had no intentions of going out on my own at the time. My boyfriend had found some grooming equipment off of Craigslist. So I said, why not? So we went and bought a whole bunch of grooming equipment except for scissors and a bathtub. I bought everything I needed from her and took it to my previous place and was using it there. And then some conflicts were happening there, and I was getting nervous about what my career left at that place would be like. So my boyfriend really encouraged me, why don't you just go out on your own? And I was like, I don't know if I can do that. Then there was Kayla. So I messaged her, and I was like, how do I get an LLC, and how fast can I have this done? And I started in like February, and I was open here by April 5th. I rent the unit. So we came in, I had to have the place plumbed for a tub for me because it used to be a cell phone store. I had carpet in here. So the first dog that had an accident here, all the carpet was ripped up and we put floors in. We bought a tub out of our tax money that year and some scissors. And I had my aunt loaned me some money to get my supplies and just been doing it ever since. So I signed a 3-year lease. That's coming up. I'm going to renew for 1 year, but I'm hoping by next year I'm in my own building and can expand. I'd like to expand to dog boarding and get a little bit more into more options for
Yes.
people. So
Look at
and I
you go.
started off
I'm
with
so
one,
happy
just
for you.
somehow- Thank you. 2 years ago, March, I convinced my niece that she needed to come work with me. And she did. She started off as my bather. I only had her for about 3 months and found out I was pregnant. And I quickly got her into grooming school and pushed her along. And by that December, when I had my baby, she ran the shop 2 weeks alone by herself.
Ooh.
And then she's been with me ever since. So she apprenticed with me for a year. And in October, I just said, you're fully on your own. And we're both grooming every day.
She sounds
Man.
like a Dr. Croom if I've ever heard one.
I'm saying she's doing a little bit of this and that. You know, that is one of the aspects of being an entrepreneur, being a business person, you know, here in this country or maybe in any country, where the ability to hire and the ability to, you know, put back money and into your own community. A lot of times, you know, you get money and then the money goes out into another community, but you, by having a business, you could hire people and, you know, that has tax ramifications for your city, as you well know.
Yeah.
And that is so awesome. Congratulations on that. You know, you put her into school. You were like, this baby's coming. You got to come.
Yeah.
So cool.
She's been a big help. We wouldn't be this big. There's twice we've had to stop taking clients because we haven't had room.
What?
We're slowly starting to take clients again. But
okay.
and she's kind of dabbling in some creative coloring. So both cat and dog safe hair color. So we started to offer that a little bit more too.
That is so cool. I'm following a couple of groomers who do that. Like, just it's so amazing to even see that color looking like cheetahs and stuff, and you know, looking like whole other animals with the grooming color, safe color. Kayla, would you ever color one of your dogs, or have you ever, or one of your pets?
Well, Rip is mostly black, so that would be hard. But Sasha, she's mostly white, so we could, but her face is brown. Like all the points, like maybe her paws and her ears, all that's like brown. So maybe we'd have to dye that. I don't know how that would work. Coloring her, but I guess people do it on the body and stuff too, don't they?
Yeah. So for Valentine's last year, I have a pit bull who's mostly white, but she's got like the black on her eye and her tail. But we dyed her hot pink from head to toe.
Oh.
We did that. And then for like St. Patrick's Day, we just put some clovers like on her hip.
Oh.
And like we have a Chihuahua that's tan that comes in, and she gets cheetah print like all on her like rump area, and they make bleach for dogs that's safe too, so we can lighten the fur color, but it's same effect on like our hair. It makes it more brittle, and the shorter your hair your dog is, the color is going to be there a lot longer than like a cat or a poodle or something where I could shave the hair out and get the color gone.
Yep.
Oh, this is so cool. The colors. Okay, so earlier, you know, you were talking about kind of some of the older or senior animals, and you know, that's something that we really focus on here at Dr. Croom Mobile Veterinary Service as well. And one of the things I want to mention, since this is Everything Cats Week, is that we offer virtual visits for cat owners here in the state of Michigan, which is so exciting because every state doesn't necessarily allow telemedicine like that, but so many cat owners would just love to be able to not have to deal with the cat box, not have to deal with someone coming in their house, you know. Granted, if we have to go out and do vaccinations, obviously we have to, you know, touch the animal and do that. But for the situations where a kitty, you know, has a minor issue or, you know, ear infection, or he's, you know, stepping at his ears, or he's, you know, scratching or doing something that we can take a look at and watch on the virtual, we're here for you, you know. And you may even come across some issues with some cats. Like, what are some of the things that you come across when you're grooming, maybe with skin issues or anything else that you find that the owner may not have found?
Most of my cats, like my senior cats, they just aren't grooming well anymore, so their hair is getting impacted. Okay. I have one client that every other Monday, she brings me 2 of her senior cats, and I just brush them out and send them home to help them out. So a lot of that's just the dander. They just build up a lot of dander from being impacted.
Okay.
So I just try to bathe them if I can. If not, we just keep brushing.
That's great. That's all you
But
can do.
I mean, that's our biggest thing, is just the lack of grooming, I guess. That same client, we did have a cat come in, and I found a lump on its tail. So that's one good thing, is like the groomer, our hands are all over your pet everywhere. So we're going to feel places you don't normally pet your dog.
Yep.
And she took the cat to the vet, and it was cancer, and they docked the tail on the cat, and the cat's been fine ever since. But she tells me to this day that her husband didn't believe her, but believed me. So thank you.
So that's so wonderful so that you already have that LVT background, Janessa, because I'm sure other groomers find that type of stuff too, but you kind of necessarily know that too, what to look for and what to educate a potential cancer patient's owner on. So that's really wonderful that you've kind of taken your skills from what you learned before too and added that into your current career.
Yeah, it's been a good selling point too when I was brand new, and people knew that I had first aid skills on hand, and here if something did happen to their pet while they were here. And
I was going to say, as soon as people find out that you're a pet professional, right? They're like, oh, I mean, you can be in the line at the store.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm a vet tech. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's just like a graved invitation to start telling us about your pet. We love it.
We have several clients that come in and that drop off. They're like, well, can we ask you a question before we call our vet? I'm always like, you can ask me, but I'm still going to tell you to call your vet.
That's right. Liability. So, hey, I want to say, hey, Sandra Reese. We've got Sandra out of the Detroit area, an amazing woman. So supportive of my business, and we rest in peace to Red, who we loved. And also we've got Shannon Cackneep, who said Janessa is the best.
She is.
So Shannon, I hope I didn't brutalize your last name, but Shannon is here. Great to see you, Shannon.
Yay.
Does Shannon groom as well, or is she with you there?
Shannon and I worked at Addison Veterinary Clinic together for a couple years. So, and then we've remained friends ever since. She left a couple months before I left to go into grooming. So we kind of parted at the same time, but we've always stayed in touch.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So, you told us about some of the animals that you have now. So growing up, like, what was your life like? Was there animals, a lot of them, none of them? Like, what really kind of got you in the direction of where you're at now?
So my house, we always just had pretty much dogs and cats, but I don't know, it was a long time ago. People didn't spay and neuter as much. So our lab had a few different litters growing up. So I always had puppies around. I always tried to convince my parents to keep every puppy there was. It never went that way. We'd have stray dogs showing up because I lived in the country. I was always trying to save them. My grandpa grew up just around the corner, and we raised beef cattle. So I'd always be up there with him and his barn cats and whatever else they had on the farm.
So it's just been in your blood, girl.
Yeah, animals just always been there.
It sure is. It sure is. Well, you've shown us some techniques. You've shown us some equipment that you use. And you said, hey, cats are not that much worse than dogs when it comes right down to it. And I would tend to agree with you on that one. I want to, as we prepare to close out here, want to ask you one final question. Kayla, do you have one final question for Janessa? What's something?
You gotta put me right on the spot, don't you?
Maybe.
Dig in my brain here a minute.
I mean,
how has it been working for yourself? I already know the answer because I feel the same way. But how has it been working for yourself opposed to ever working like for anyone ever again, really?
the best.
Knew
I
it. Called it.
set my own hours. I set my own schedule. If there's a conflict with my kids at school, I know I can bring my kids into my workplace, and no one's going to tell me that they're in the way or they need to go home. If I'm having something, I can just cancel my day and rebook people when I need to. As far as learning all of the business stuff, that's still learning every day and every year, and that's a lot, but I don't ever want to work under somebody again.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what's so great. I feel like working for Dr. Croom again, I don't feel like I'm under that type of situation. Like, I feel like her and I have a, emotion together, and we work it however it fits both of our schedules, really. So,
yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every year I think I've edited my hours and changed them a little bit, and we're getting ready to change hours again February 1st. And I have some clients that are like, oh, well, that doesn't fit my schedule. And I have other clients be like, you do whatever you have to do. You have kids. We understand. I'm like, well, thank you.
Yep. Yep.
It's really nice to have those understanding clients, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, over on Instagram, we've got a few people who have joined and are watching along. I want to say hello to Always Loaded Kennels, Walker World Kennel, That Boy Parker joined us. We've got Beaming. As a matter of fact, Beaming said, my cat does well with professional grooming, but he acts a hot mess with me. What's up with that?
Because you're the parent. You're,
right.
I mean, like a toddler, he's going to have a fit right in front of mom and dad.
Right. And they're just out of their element when they come here.
Yep. They don't know what to expect.
Differently than you do. Like, I don't ever go face first to a cat. I always approach them from behind. They're more submissive that way, so I keep their butt like against me while I work on them and move around them. And it's like some animals that are wonderful at home will also come in here and they're complete opposite with me because they're out of their element. And
yep.
True.
Sometimes I've gotten a cat out of a carrier one time and he swatted right at me, like got the whole side of my face. I put him right back in that carrier and told the owner, we need a sedative. I can't touch him. And they were like, are you for real? I was like, yeah, like I was like bleeding when I was talking to them. So he came back in on a sedative the next time. I could do whatever I wanted to him, and we made a compromise.
All right. Very good. Yep. Well, I don't think Beaming _ is going to do that because I said, never again. Never again. So thank you, Beaming. Hey, Three Amigos Bully Camp, Good Karma Bullies. All my bully people over here on the gram. That's what I'm talking about. But they are dog people. But one thing we found is that dog people a lot of times have cats too. Kayla is one. She loves the dogs, but she loves her lady too. Lady Binks.
Oh yeah, love my lady girl.
I know. If you weren't familiar, you guys, Kayla is an entrepreneur in her own right, and you can find her at Three Little Birds. She has an e-commerce store, and she provides beautiful gifts, does work, metal
laser work.
Mm-hmm. Like, what do I call that? Laser work. I mean, I've gotten plenty of stuff from her, gifts, bedazzled, beautiful. Three Little Birds. So check her out.
Thank you for that, Doc.
Of course. I mean, here it's that's International. We believe in humble leadership, and for me, that includes sharing the wealth of knowledge, sharing people, letting them know what's available. There are enough clients out there for all of us, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's plenty. And then Three Amigo Bullies said, great info. So thank you, Janessa, for all this great info that you're bringing us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is really great. Hey, Jacob. Hey, Valisa. Thank you for joining me over on Instagram. And as we wind down here, it's been Cat Appreciation Week over here. It started again with ask your cat a question. If you want to ask your cat a question, you can go on over to Dr. Croom Army Vet if you're not already following me. And also on Facebook, you can find Janessa at Scruff
Sure.
to Fluff. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And you can, like I said, find Kayla on Facebook as well under Three Little Birds. Is that spelled just the regular way, Kayla?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hey there, Pamela Joe Chapman and Ducati. Ducati says hello. Little cute little pup. Thank you for joining as always, Pamela. And I just want to thank you big time, Janessa, for being here tonight for, after a day of work. I know we're all doing it here so that we can educate the people and let them know what you're doing. Again, you have a Scruff to Fluff grooming parlor in Hillsdale, Michigan.
Yeah.
They can't keep the doors, like they've got people over there flying, like you better get in before
before you can't.
I was just
I have
about
lots
to
of cat availability.
What was that?
I said I have lots of availability for new cat clients.
Oh, okay. So you can get in where you fit in over there in Hillsdale. All right, we're gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you again, Janessa. Thank you again, Kayla, for finding our amazing guest tonight.
Absolutely.
And we will say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you for
Everyone have a
having
great
me.
night.
Peace.